In this video, we look at problem solving using a little bit of geometry. Let's jump right in and start with application problem number 1. Green Thumb Landscaping charges $2,500 to install a 15-foot by 20-foot patio. Using the same rate, estimate the cost for an 18-foot by 28-foot patio. Now, moving forward in our homework for this week, we're going to discover a lot of problems which are going to use both percents and proportional reasoning, as well as a few other new techniques, a little bit of geometry, and possibly also some dimensional analysis. So we're going to have to put our thinking caps on and do some discovery when we look at these application problems. In this particular problem, what's going on is that we have a patio that we're trying to install. So this patio, first of all, starts at 15 feet by 20 feet. Now there are a couple assumptions being made. First of all, if you have a patio 15 feet by 20 feet, it's assumed that you understand that that patio is a rectangle. So I'm going to draw a rectangle and label it 15 feet by 20 feet. And I know that this particular patio costs $2,500 to install through Green Thumb Landscaping. So I'm just going to write down $2,500 to install that patio. Using the same rate, we're asked to estimate the cost for another patio. This time, this patio is 18 feet by 28 feet. So I'm going to draw a slightly larger patio, 18 feet by 28 feet. And the question is, how much does this patio cost? Well, looking at this problem, I kind of see a proportion being set up, don't you? We're comparing a cost to a patio and a cost to a patio. So a proportion is going to come into play, I think. At least I want to use a proportion to solve this. But what exactly am I going to compare it to? Well, when they put this patio down, they're actually charging us for the amount of area that this patio takes up, or the amount of space, right? And so what would be good is if we actually had some area calculations involved. Let's look at the area of that first patio. Recall that the area of a rectangle is simply the length times the width, right? So if I want to get the area for this first rectangle or this first patio, I'm simply going to take 15 by 20, or in other words, 20 times 15. 20 times 15 is actually 300. And so this patio, the first patio that costs $2,500 to install, is actually 300 square feet. How about that second patio? Let's also get an area calculation for that patio. We're going to again take the length times the width, and that means this time we're going to take 28 and multiply that times 18. When we take 28 times 18, we get 504 square feet. And that's how much space that second patio takes up. Now I think we're set to do our proportion. We're going to compare the area of the first patio to its cost in a similar fashion as the area in the second patio to its unknown cost. So let's get going here. I'm going to say that 300 square feet corresponds to $2,500 in a similar way as 504 square feet for that second patio corresponds to X dollars. How do we solve proportions? Well, we know from last time we did homework that we cross multiply and divide. So we take 300 times x and we get 300x. That's equivalent to 2,500 multiplied by 504. Now that's a big number, so I'm going to write this down as 300x equals 2,500 times 504. That gives us 1,000,000, nope, try that again. Yep, 1,260,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of really big numbers. And so personally, I might have taken my original proportion right here and reduced down the 300 over 2,500 right at the beginning by crossing out the zeros. In other words, I might have written out the proportion 3 is to 25, because I could cross out those two zeros top and bottom, is to 504 over x, and then solve that proportion instead. That's another way to do this problem. But since I started with these big numbers, I'm going to carry on, but just something to keep in mind as you're going ahead. Try and make it as simple as possible, right, as you're solving your problem. But here we are. We've got 300 times x equals 1,260,000. How do we solve this equation? We go ahead and we divide both sides of our equation by the number in front of x, which is 300. And so when I take 1,260,000 and I divide by 300, I get the value that x is simply 4,200. And what was x representing? Recall, x was representing the cost of the 504 square foot patio. That means that using that rate, we've estimated that the cost for a patio that is 18 feet by 28 feet would be approximately $4,200. Wow, that was a little in-depth. Does everything make sense? Now, you might have solved it differently, and that's okay. The key is we both come up with the same answer when we're all done.